Alright, it's Andy, aka the Flying Yeti, back with another video. Not done one for a while. Why have I not done one for a while? Because it's winter. It's now the end of November and the weather's getting crap and the roads are getting a bit slippy and horrible with all the... See, even now when it's dry, it's whatever the date it is, 26th, 27th of November. And I thought, oh, you know what, I'm going to go out for a little ride in the afternoon. Roads are dry, but even when the roads are dry, it's cold. It's not that cold actually. It's like, it's saying 12 degrees on the dash, so I wouldn't say it's cold, but nevertheless it looks a little bit slippy out here, and I'm strictly a fair weather rider, so hence I haven't been out on the bike. But anyway, on today's little short video, short video, no waffly, that's never going to happen, is it? Unless I edit out most of it. I wanted to do like a 6-month review on the GS. So the GS R1250 HP, the one that I'm on now, this old beast. So when I say 6-month review, I actually got the bike, I think it was like the end of February. So I have actually had it a bit longer than 6 months. But then again, we did have, however long the lockdown was, the first lockdown when you wasn't allowed to go on the bike, which was probably... was it a couple of months? I can't even remember now. So if I'm saying for the sake of this is a couple of months lockdown where I didn't use the bike. So therefore I've been riding it for roughly 6 months, give or take. So it's all very well doing the first review, but the first review videos are just that, first reviews. So you don't notice loads of things on the first review. You obviously notice, oh, this is nice riding position, nice seat, the seat's nice and comfy, the bars are nice and wide and everything's great, bike goes well, stops well, da 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 da. But that's about all you do notice. It's not till you ride it for months, and I've done roughly 3,000 miles there or thereabouts. So after 3,000 miles in 6 months, you get to know the bike a little bit more. You get to know how it behaves, good and bad, all its little four wheels that present themselves throughout these months. So anyway, I'll start on the bad bits. Well, the bad bits, there isn't a lot really, and on these bad bits I am very much nitpicking. So the first thing I'd say about the bad bits is that the screen, this screen here, it's not great, not a lot of wind protection. I say not a lot of wind protection. I am 6'1", so with this screen set in its highest setting, there is quite a lot of wind buffering to my head. I mean, my chest and everything's okay. So if I duck down like that, knock a good 6 inches off my height, then I'm actually in a nice calm environment. So if you are shorter, then the wind protection would be fine, I would imagine, with this standard screen. Now the screen itself is not, it just seems a little bit flimsy. It vibrates a lot, whereas you sort of think, oh, the brackets don't seem that great on it, the way it's sort of attached to the bike, so to speak, not that great. And the fact that it's not electronically controlled, again, clutching at straws, nitpicking, or whatever you want to call it. But the windy bit there, if you can see that, is on the right hand side. So if I'm going along and I think, oh, you know what, it's really warm, I'm riding slow, I want to lower the screen to get a bit of wind to cool me down, then I've got to reach over with my left hand and wind it, or stop the bike and do it. You can't really do it with your right hand because you obviously take it off the throttle and the bike slows down. So not great for practicality. So that's the first thing I'd say about that. The other thing as well is the switch gear, all the switch gear, which there are many buttons and things to press. They are not illuminated. Now I've said this on previous videos before, the fact that they're not illuminated, no massive biggie, but when you're out at night, when it's dark, especially on roads like this when there's no lights around, you know, illuminating the road, etc. If you want to faff with any of your buttons, unless you're really up to date with where everything is, with the old muscle memory kicking in or whatever, then it's your job to find the buttons in the dark. You basically can't unless you literally study them and practice with your eyes shut for God knows how long. So bear in mind that every car that you go, because people say to me, oh, you don't need an illuminated switch gear, it's just ridiculous. Why would you want that? It's like, well, you've got it in your car, you've got it in every car from like day zero of owning cars. all the switchgear is illuminated. So if you don't need it on a bike, well, so why do you need it in a car? It just kind of, for a premium God save, for a premium product you would expect it to be, or I would expect it to be. And the next thing is heated seat or lack of. Now the 2021 model has heated seat as an optional extra, whereas this 2019 model doesn't have it. So it's got heated grips, so warm hands, cold bum is the way to go when you're riding a GS, it looks like. But you know, just is what it is, one of those things. Again, it's no biggie. So with them little minuscule little bad bits of the bike, that's probably all I would say. The bad bits of the bike are, I mean, you could throw in the mix things like the cost of the bike. It is darn expensive. I'm assuming the service costs will be equally as expensive. I don't know if you want to buy any extra bits like the sat nav, I would say. I mean, this cradle they give you there to remind you of the fact that you're too tight to buy the sat nav every time you get on the bike. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I think it was like the best part of like £700 for a sat nav, and you think to yourself, 700 quid. You know, when you can go into Halfords or wherever other outlets are available, as they say, and buy a TomTom sat nav for your car for whatever they cost. I think they're about 100 and something quid for a TomTom. Now, as far as I can see, that TomTom will be exactly the same. We're saying exactly the same. You could probably say, I don't know this for a fact, but I'm just guessing it, that the where's he going to go? Left. Yeah, well done. I'd probably hasten to say that the motorbike one is waterproof, but I'm only guessing that. It probably is, but probably maybe. Where are you going? Left, thank you. Probably maybe waterproof. But the fact that the car one is like 100 quid and the bike one is like 700 quid, and the only major difference is that one is waterproof. Does it cost £600 to make a sat nav waterproof? Probably not. But yeah, it is what it is. If you want one, you're gonna have to suck it up and pay the money for it. That's why I haven't bothered buying one yet. But it would be a useful option to have, especially when hopefully next year, if the COVID eventually sods off, we're allowed to go anywhere of distance, then it might be a worthy purchase, so I can know where I'm going. Because even though I use my phone on the quad lock at the moment, which is kind of alright. But hey-ho, I'm waffling again, which I said I wasn't going to do. So that's probably the only sort of like bad bits I can think of offhand about this bike. The good bits, it does everything that it's supposed to do, and it does it pretty well. It goes alright. It ain't the most powerfulest bike in its class. I mean, you know, you look at the KTM and it's a lot more horsepower, but you get on this with its 130, whatever it is, 38, might be 36, go with 38, 138 horsepower. On something like this, trust me, it is plenty. The gears, the way this bike's geared as well, it's quite short gearing on it, so if you don't know what I mean by that, you get on it first, second, third, it's like blah, 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 you're straight through the gears. So the acceleration is a pretty frantic, especially in the first 3, maybe 4 gears. I'm okay, if you got it in 6 gear and you're doing 80 or 90 and you open it out, you think, ain't quite as fast as I thought it was. But it's not a sports bike, is it? It's an all-rounder. So speed-wise, very, very good. I wouldn't really want it anymore. It's like when you get a sport, well, you know, when I get a sports bike, or most people get a sports bike, the first thing they want to do, I want to get rid of this crappy Euro 5 exhaust can, and I want to get a better exhaust. I want to get it flash. I want to do this, that, and the other with it. Why? You know, the modern sports bikes have got, you know, 200 horsepower, but that's the kind of thing you want to do with a sports bike. With this, I know a lot of people change things on it, and you know, they'll put a different can on it and so forth, but I don't feel the need that I want straight up. I don't feel the need that I want to, yeah, Just go, you dickhead. I'm not in the case, just go. I don't feel the need that I want to change the exhaust or whatever. I mean, to me it sounds like a wet fart. That could be another bad bit, depending, but I don't really mind it sounding like a wet fart. As I say, it's not a sports bike. It's not supposed to sound like some thunderous fire-breathing monster. So if I was to change the exhaust can, the fact that it sounds like a wet fart with a standard can, to me it's just going to sound like a louder wet fart. So aftermarket can might look a little bit better, but again, mega bucks. Is it going to improve my life riding this? For me personally, no. I can understand if you want to change it, fair dues. But yes, the fact that I don't want to spend loads of money on it is a good thing in my head. Riding position for distance, absolutely perfect. I'm sat bolt upright on it. The seat is reasonably comfortable. I say reasonably comfortable. It is pretty comfortable. Let's overtake this dude. The seat's really comfortable. I say really comfortable. If I want it for, I don't know, 45 minutes ish, depending on the roads you're riding, I kind of feel, are we going to stop at McDonald's? Because I kind of need to get off. So, but having said that, you think to yourself, it's a motorbike. Even if I sit on my sofa at home, which a sofa by sheer definition is going to be more comfortable than a motorbike. So, but even if I sit on that at home, my sofa that is, watching a film, I'll find myself, I'll sit down as normal, and then 20 minutes later I'm slouching because my ass is going a bit numb. Then I'm putting my feet on the sofa, then I'm putting one foot back on the floor again. So I'm shuffling myself around because that sofa, even though it's a sofa and it's designed to be comfy, you still need to move around because it ain't that comfy after a while. So what I'm saying is, when you try and make a motorbike as comfy as possible, it's never going to be as comfy as a sofa. So the fact that I have to get off this after 45 minutes riding, I'm taking that as, yeah, it's as comfy as a motorbike can possibly be. That's all I'm saying on that. My knees don't ache on this, considering I'm old, 55. 55 I am, by the way. My knees are in a nice position, plenty of leg room, bars are nice and wide, hands straight out in front, you're not cramped on it at all. So yes, very good. Riding position, power already outlined, plenty, thank you. I don't want to go, you know, it's a comfy armchair bike. I don't want to go a million miles an hour on an armchair. If I want to go a million miles an hour, I'll get on my R1. Uncomfortable, but you know, it's all about compromise, isn't it? It's what you want out of a bike. So yes, comfort wise, handling wise, it's very, very flickable. Me personally, I find it, I still after 3,000 miles find it a little bit too flickable. What do I mean by that? Well, if I'm going, I mean, I'm only going slow today because these rides don't look very inviting to go fast. But if I'm getting a little bit of a lick on round country windy roads, the slightest little import to go left or right, you've only got to like touch the bars, very, very slight little touch, and the bike darts from left to right. And I still find that, you know, it just darts that little bit too quick for me. I want it a little bit slow. I want to like muscle it a little bit, but whereas you can't muscle this around. So for me personally, that even though the handling is, you can handle it with ease, there's no effort whatsoever in changing direction, I just find it a little bit too responsive. I don't know whether any of that's to do with the tyres or not, because I've got the I know I should have mentioned tyres because I've got no idea what I've got on. They're Bridgestones anyway, no idea whatever come on the bike, same set of tyres. But yes, I've got tyres on the bike, so whether a different tyre, because again harping back to the R1, I can tell the difference between a road tyre and then to go to, you know, a Diablo Supercorsa SC road tyre to SP road tyre rather, to an SC more track-based tyre, to a Bridgestone VO2 slick. The bike feels not completely different, but it feels different depending on what tyre you put on. So I'm assuming the same thing will apply to this bike, but I'm only assuming that. So overall, very, very pleased with the bike. What else was I going to say on the matter? The other thing I was going to mention is reliability over the 3,000 miles. Overall, it hasn't missed a beat, apart from, I'll say it hasn't missed a beat, apart from the beat that it missed, which I've done a video on the fault. If you didn't see the video, basically I stalled the bike, started the bike straight away, pulled away in first, clicked straight into second, and the bike just died. It cut out as if you just switched it off. Posted to a halt, thinking, oh, what the hell have I done now? Switched it off, switched it on, started it, it ran fine. Started fine, ran fine, but there was a fault thing come up on the dash. So I took it to BMW and they said, oh, it just needs a software update, which, yeah, whatever. So it was done under warranty, no major issue, just a minor inconvenience. And whilst we're on the subject of the dash, forgot to mention that, very, very pleased with this TFT screen. It's probably one of the nicest, most easiest to read TFTs that I've seen on any manufacturer. Everything is there. I mean, it's a separate video in its own right, this TFT screen, and I ain't going to go into it because anyone that's remotely interested in these bikes would have seen a zillion TFT videos on YouTube on the very subject, so I'm not going to go through it all. But all I'm going to say is that my eyesight ain't great. I've got no glasses on now because I only need reading glasses at the moment. So anything close up, not great. That car in front of me, I can see perfectly fine, but it's just a close-up work. Now, on some bikes, I can't read properly unless I really squint a lot the small numbers on the old TFT or on the dash. This one, all the things that I need to know. So, what gear I'm in 6th gear, look, big 6 up there, that's fine. Well, miles per hour, I need some miles per gallon. Miles per hour, look, 44, 45. Massive, great big 44, 45, I can see that fine. Everything I need to know is displayed beautifully and clearly. Rev counter above it, everything's there. So, yes, the TFT, there's loads of menus and sub-menus and God knows what, and it's a bit faffy at times to do that. But 9 times out of 10, all I need to know is how fast am I going? Do I need to know anything else? Not really. Alright, yeah, it's quite handy to know what gear you're in. So, yeah, oh, and how many miles I've got left? 159 miles in the tank. So, yeah, that's it. So, anyway, apart from that, all is good.